Right, so we have Ezin with the uphill start once again, and we've got Joe Baden in second, Plague in third, David final form in fourth place, F-Bomb there jumping Muna into fifth. We've got Pertaker there at the back of the grid. Ezin with a decent start, Bomb going side by side with David final form a little bit there. David final form who won the last race out, now currently in fourth place. We've got Plague, David final form and Bomb all close together. Muna going left of Bomb there. Pertaker currently running in last place after having a rough qualifying session there. We'll be looking for a good recovery. So here is first and second. Ezin, Joe Baden. Got a bit of a gap already before we get to third place. Plague, David final form in fourth place. F-Bomb in fifth. Muna in sixth. Gaps forming already, only on lap 3 of 36. Got a little mini endurance here. We're going too wide. F-Bomb and Pertaker. Pertaker jumping from last place on the grid up now into fifth. F-Bomb's going to go wide with Pertaker as we go down the hill. F-Bomb had to back out a little bit there so he didn't hit the wall. As the grid starts to take shape here. There'll be some supporters for Bomb in the chat, I'm sure. It's good to see him doing some clean racing here in Wreckfest 2 at Revline. The legend F-Bomb. Look at this battle between Ezin and Joe Baden. Similar to the last race, but reverse. Joe Baden was ahead in that one. Ezin was behind him. So we've got Ezin in first. We've got Joe Baden in second. We've got Plague in third. David final form in fourth position. Joe Baden's going to go side by side with Ezin as we go down the hill. Ezin's going to have the inside. Joe Baden looking for the inside on the uphill right-hander. Looks like he has it for now. Can he get the position cleared? Ezin goes a little bit wide there. That's going to allow Joe Baden to get the position. So he will claim first for himself there. Nicely done there from Joe Baden. So we've got Joe Baden, Ezin, Plague, David final form. Then we've got a gap before you get to Pertaker, F-Bomb and Muna. So everyone seems to have a decent battle on the grid here this evening for this third race. David final form all over the back of Plague. Ezin all over the back of Joe Baden. Ezin had a really good line there out of that time. They'll go side by side, but Joe Baden will have the inside, but he does go a little bit wide, so Ezin will hit the switch and they go down the hill. Ezin will claim first spot back from Joe Baden. A very good race here, hotting up between these incredibly fast racers. Gap forming between first, second and third and fourth, and then a huge gap before you get to Pertaker, F-Bomb and Muna already. But everyone's racing, everyone's sweating, everyone's having a good time. F-Bomb goes a little bit wide there. Muna's going to be able to go side by side with him as we go down the hill. F-Bomb will hold on to it for now then. F-Bomb on the right, Muna on the left as we go up the hill. F-Bomb looking to hold on, keeps it nice and tight. Muna goes a little bit wide there, which will slow him down, so F-Bomb will hold on to that position for now. Good racing throughout the field here. Ooh, F-Bomb nearly flipping it on that bump there, but he keeps it together. We'll jump back up the grid. Here is Ezin and Joe Baden. First and second place. Ezin getting slow close to that wall there. Also a battle here between Plague and David final form. David final form with a second and first to his name so far this evening. Currently running in fourth place. Plague is the target for him to overtake to get into a podium spot here. Ooh, it was very close to the wall there, David final form. That'll slow him down a little bit on the start finish, and Plague will hold on to third for now then. Plague looking for his first podium position here at Revline. We know he's very quick indeed. He plays with the buttons, uses buttons for accelerate and brake. Never heard that one before. It sounds, we've heard of unusual controller combos in Wreckfest 1. Like, remember School Jelly? All of his controls are back to front. Yeah, we've got someone using the face buttons in Wreckfest 2. So the gap between first and second and third and fourth is getting wider and wider. Ezin and Joe Baden, I think they both said they won't be doing the final race, so there could be a winner for grabs for someone else in the last one. But Ezin in first for now. He's got a battle on his hands here, running on lap 10 of 36. Ezin keeping it nice and tight there. Good defence. And he will hold on to that first position now. We've got side-by-side action with David Final Form and Plague. Plague on the left, David Final Form on the right. Plague will keep it nice and steady, building acceleration as we go down the hill. David Final Form in 4th place. We'll have to think of something else to get an overtake done on this gentleman. Looks like he's got very good defence. You're both keeping it nice and clean. Plague will hold the inside line there. David looking to switch it onto the left as we go up the hill. Ooh, but David hits the wall there, so it's going to slow him. I think it slowed him both down. I think David backed out of that one ever so slightly. He probably thought he slowed Plague down a little bit too much there. Right, we're going to go back to this battle between F-Bomb and Muna. Very close between these two. F-Bomb's first race in Wreckfest 2 at Revline. He's having a good battle here with Muna. Good to see, good to see. Pertaka looking out like he's got a lonely race ahead of him if these two keep battling with each other. We'll watch these as they go up the hill. Bomb with the inside line. Muna on the left, who's in the wrong position there to make an overtake. He had to rely on what Bomb's car was doing. Bomb's car flicked out the rear, which slowed Muna down a little bit. But they will be in the same positions as they complete another lap. There is Pertaka running in 5th. We've got side by side with Ezin and Joe Baden. It's like Joe Baden will get an overtake done on Ezin and move up into 1st place. We missed the start of that one, but we saw the end of it. Joe Baden up into 1st place, looking for his 2nd win of the night. He's been Mr. Consistent this evening. Entered all 3 of the races so far. Looking for 2 firsts and a 2nd to add to his 2nd that he got a week ago. We've got Plague, who has built a little bit of a gap there over David Final Form. Looks like he's picked up the pace here. Can they both work with each other to make their way towards the lead battle as we enter the halfway stage here? F-Bomb and Muna still having that great battle there for 6th and 7th position. Muna hitting that bump there nearly sends him a tumbling, but he holds it together now. Bomb has a bit of breathing room now. Can Bomb build a bit of consistency, a bit of pace, and start making his way towards Pertaka? He's been battling with Muna for all of the 15 laps so far, but now has an opportunity to work on his speed, get some laps in. Not sure how much practice he's put in this evening, so every lap will be a learning experience for the legend there, F-Bomb. It's like Joe Baden has built a gap over Ezin since making that overtake a couple of laps ago. We have reached just about reached the halfway stage here. 3rd race this evening. We've got 1 more after this. It's been a pleasure to see some great clean racing here again at Revline. We're doing the European Rallycross main circuit using the switchback. Everyone is working on their ELO rankings. These guys would have definitely added to that this evening. Consistently in the top half of the grid. Where is... Ooh, it looks like David Final Form has got an overtake on Plague, so that puts him into 3rd position. So David Final Form now in a podium spot. Is there enough time for him to catch up to the lead battle of Joe Baden and Ezin? Ooh, not while hitting the wall, you were. That'll definitely slow you down. That's going to halt his progress a little bit, but Plague not really close enough there to take advantage. And the battle between Bomb and Muna carries on. It's a similar gap than what we was looking at before. I think they are making them way towards Pertaka ever so slightly. So we'll keep an eye on this one. 5th, 6th and 7th. Pertaka, Bomb and Muna. Ezin is letting Joe Baden escape here. Looks like he's closer than he was the previous lap we saw them both. Joe Baden on a 34.058. We'll see what Mr. Ezin is on. We'll ride on board with him for a lap. A 34.066. These guys have got blistering pace here. I see you there, more rum than fuel. Good to see you, mate. Nice to see you, GAZ. Yeah, we've got the legend, F-Bomb. He's doing some clean, sweaty racing, ladies and gents. Good to see him, good to see him. Return of the Mac. So we look at the man. We'll have a look at the man, see how he's doing. There he is, Mr. F-Bomb. Ooh, he hit the wall slide. I don't want to curse him. He's having a lovely race here with Muna. They've been battling all race. Similar gap between these two as the last time I looked. Bomb with Pertaka in his sights. Pertaka, I'm aware, is a Wreckfest 2 veteran already with nearly 2,000 hours, I believe, to his name in Wreckfest 2. Bomb just getting started on the Wreckfest 2 journey. I'm sure we'll see a lot of that guy's face in the future when it comes to Wreckfest 2 events, either in the commentary booth or on the track. We've got David Final Form and Plague there. Looks like David is building a bit of a gap there over Plague. We've got Joe Baden and Ezin still together on the track here. With such similar pace between these two, Ezin's going to have to rely on a mistake here from Joe Baden for an opening. But no opportunities left. We're on lap 21 of 36. Joe Baden with a win to his name so far this evening and a second place. Ezin with a podium for himself as well. And I believe it was a fourth position in the first race. Looking for his first win this evening. Or at least a second place. There's the gap between first, second and third. David Final Form. David Final Form was behind Plague at the beginning of the race, but is now overtaking him and building a gap. We'll be hoping something happens between first and second so you can catch up. The battle between Bomb and Muna, it carries on. Similar gap, but they are at a decent pace. They've still got Pertaka in their sights. What's going to happen between first and second here? Both keeping it very consistent after having an overtake apiece. As in overtaking Joe Baden first, then Joe Baden returning the favour to get first position. Has got a couple of cars gap between them both. As we're about to enter the 25th lap of the race. David Final Form a little bit too far away to do anything for the time being, but if these two start battling and David Final Form shows the blistering pace that we've seen from him already, it could become a three-car battle for the lead. But as it stands, that is the gap between first, second, third and fourth. And then a huge gap before we get to Pertaka. And then the forever battle between Bomb and Muna. It looks like they've got the exact same pace. There's been the exact gap between them all race. I hope they are enjoying themselves out there. Good to see the Bomb on the side of Bomb's car there. I'm sure he will get busy making skins at some point or another. So we've got one more race this evening, guys. If you're watching this, you've got Wreckfest 2, you fancy yourself some clean racing. We've got one more of these Revline ELO ranking races after this one. We've got some sign-ups for it already, but we've still got plenty of space if you fancy it. All you have to do is join the Revline voice chat, so you can listen to the instructions for the qualification and start procedure, and then you are good to go. We had some decent turnouts in the first and second race. We've got a slightly smaller grid for this one, but 7 cars on the grid. You still get some nice racing like we're seeing between Joe Baden, Ezin. I saw a nice battle between David Final Form, Plague. Maybe not from Pertaka. He's having a bit of a lonely one, but hopefully he's enjoying himself. Then we've got F-Bomb and Muna. Same gap still between 6th and 7th. Don't you do that, noob. Don't do it. I'm not saying it. Looks like Ezin is keeping Joe Baden within arm's reach here, as we are within 10 laps of the end of the race. I'm ignoring you, noob. Don't clip it, don't clip it. Joe Baden and Ezin, they're entering the lap 29 of 36. Anyone who was unaware of how quick Ezin was are definitely seeing it on show this evening. Joe Baden, if anyone is looking for any sort of comparison, running IQ close to a race win last week. Came second there, ultimately to the Wreckfest 1 legend IQ, but we're seeing Ezin with a very similar pace to Joe Baden, so that gives you some idea of the pecking order there. David Final Form with a race win to his name as well. Expect him to get some main event wins in the future. Looks like these guys are very close in pace. Joe Baden, Ezin, David Final Form, Plague as well. Sicarius we saw earlier on had some really good pace. We don't do that here. We didn't, but we are now apparently. Thank you, Noob School. David Final Form, the race is becoming a lonely one for him, running in 3rd place right now, Plague in 4th. Let's have a look what's happening with Bomb and Muna. Ooh, it's getting a bit close. No, it's about the same. I thought it was closer, but it's about the same. It's about the same between Bomb and Muna. I'm sure many of the guys that are in voice chat are supporting the man there as he hits the wall. I don't want to curse him, but they're going to go side by side. Muna with an opportunity to overtake into the final 10. So Muna will get the overtake on F-Bomb up into 6th place. F-Bomb with about 5 laps to take that back from him. But Joe Baden and Ezin, a larger gap between these two now. Joe Baden spreading his legs a little bit there. Stretching his legs, sorry. Jesus Christ. Anyway. David Final Form in 3rd. Plague in 4th. Oh my god. The blooper reel is growing, ladies and gentlemen. The blooper reel is growing. Moon, after getting the overtake on Bomb, has built a little gap over him there. I'm scared to say anything because I think I'm going to butcher it. We've not got long left of this race now. F-Bomb had a good advantage over Muna earlier on, but Muna getting the overtake done a lap or 2 ago. Pertaco there in 5th position. Ooh, Joe Baden. The gap is growing between him and Ezin. I'm not sure if Ezin's just settled for that 2nd place here now. They both said they were tired before this one. They've both done 2 mini Enduros before this one. Looks like the tiredness may have got to Ezin quicker than Joe Baden. Please don't say it, Ben. Well, you can say it. It'll get censored. So Joe Baden first. We've got Ezin in 2nd. David Final Form in 3rd. And we've got Plague in 4th. Huge gap before we get to Pertaco. There he is. There's Bomb and Muna. The leader has entered lap 35 36. We've got F-Bomb and Muna having a battle, but they have to bear in mind that the leaders are right behind and blue flag rules are in effect. Let's hope it doesn't affect Joe Baden too much. F-Bomb looking for an opportunity to overtake Muna. Muna goes a little bit wide there. That's going to allow F-Bomb to get a little bit closer. I think the leaders are about to enter the last lap of the race. We've got Muna, F-Bomb in 6th and 7th place. Joe Baden just entered the final lap. He's got a huge gap there over Ezin. He'll be hoping not to get caught up in anything between these two. F-Bomb and Muna will be focusing on each other. The Bomb will not want to finish where he is right now. He's set his targets on Muna. Ooh, Muna goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow F-Bomb to get side by side with Muna as they go through the sweeping left and down the right. They've got one more lap to do, these guys. Joe Baden is going to finish the race in first, Ezin in second, and it looks like David Final Form in third, but F-Bomb and Muna still with a lap to go. This is the battle we all want to see. 6th and 7th place. F-Bomb claiming back the position there from Muna. Pertaker probably a bit too far ahead unless he makes a mistake. Muna, who catches Bomb a little bit there, but still, who's going to go side by side? Is he going to get it done? He hits the tyres. F-Bomb. Ooh, there was a last-ditch maneuver there from Muna, but he hit the tyres, which slowed him down a little bit too much. And ultimately, Bomb will hold on to 6th place. Great racing between them two. Ooh, a 33.957 there from David Final Form. That's the first 33 I've seen this evening.